Alright guys, welcome to today's video, and today's video is going to be episode 1 of my Jeep Liberty build series. And the goal of this series is just to show you and document my work on my Jeep, from the repairs to get it back to running good, and my modifications to turn it into a better off-road vehicle. I'll go over some of my plans for that later, but let's start here. So the first thing I did was I took off the serpentine belt, which is pretty simple. Just by putting a ratchet on the tensioner, you can move it and the belt comes right off. And now I'm removing the idler and tensioner assembly so that I can get to the bolts on the backside of the water pump. So now I'm taking off the bolts that are around the edge of the water pump, holding it onto the engine. And as I'm doing this, I have the new water pump sitting next to me so that I can put all the bolts where they go, because they're not all the same length, and it is important that I remember where they go for when I assemble this. And as I disassemble this, I'm going to talk a bit about what I have planned for this Jeep. One of the first things is going to be an exhaust kit, which I will have a video installing that soon. And then from there, I'll probably put a bumper on it, and then after that, we'll be on to some more major projects I have planned. I need to do a bunch of engine repair work, from leaking gaskets and actually head gasket issues. And I also am going to do a lift kit, which I will have more details on that coming soon. Alright, so at this point I've got all the bolts off and I'm just trying to get it separated from the engine. It was pretty stuck, and as I was whacking it with the mallet, my camera was shifting, so I got a bit of bad angle when it came off. But it was just pretty stuck because I don't think it has ever been replaced, and this motor has about 225,000 miles on it. Once I got the old one off, I cleaned up around where the mounting surface was on the motor, and I started bolting up the new one. I just started by putting a bolt on the bottom and a bolt on the top to hold it in place while I threaded in all the bolts. And then in a minute you'll see I'll come in with the ratchet and make sure I tighten them all down. Alright guys, so while I put all these bolts in, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what you guys can expect and ask for some feedback. So what you guys can expect is going to be a lot of voiceovers mostly, just because while I'm working I want to focus on working, not have to worry about talking to a camera or anything, and also there can be some loud noises that would make it hard to hear. And most of the videos will probably be like this, just time-lapsed, maybe untime-lapsed some of the more important steps. And if you guys would let me know down in the comments what you guys think, anything I could work on, that would be appreciated. Alright, so after I tightened all the bolts around the water pump, I'm now putting on the idler and tensioner assembly so that I can get the serpentine belt back on, and then that's pretty much the end of the repairs. That was a pretty simple repair that was done in my driveway. Bit of a struggle here to get the belt put back on. It's just a matter of being able to move the tensioner enough to get the belt on and making sure that it's properly aligned. Alright, once I got the belt all put back together, all I had to do was put on the lower radiator hose, which I used to drain the coolant, and make sure I refilled the coolant reservoir. And then from there, this was a successful repair, and now I have a working water pump. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I'll see you guys next time.